Hello everyone and welcome back to All About Steph 1 with me, Steph, and today is my Q&A special. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, never thought I would get here, never expected to get here, but thank you so much. I'm just going to dive straight into the questions so that you guys can get to know me a little bit better. What inspired you to start an F1 channel and when did you start it? I started my channel the weekend of the Austrian Grand Prix in 2020. It was the Thursday and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it. And the reasons for starting it were twofold. So firstly, I had an argument on Twitter with somebody that morning, the Thursday morning before the Austrian Grand Prix on the Sunday. And that person was talking bad about Mercedes and their decision to run the black livery and Lewis being too outspoken about important issues, and so I clapped back explaining the importance of it, and so that was one of the reasons, so that I would educate and demonstrate that there are people who look like me who watch the sport and try and flood the timeline with more positivity rather than the negativity that is often directed at Lewis Hamilton for being a black man. The second reason was that there were no other women on YouTube at that time that I knew of. So the only person was Jess McFadden, who was part of the WTF1 team, but she left. And so I didn't see any women representation in the Formula One YouTube community. And so I thought, do you know what? There is a little girl out there somewhere who likes Formula One, who can't see herself on the TV, who can't see herself on YouTube, and she's going to see herself in me. And so that's kind of the reason as well, because I didn't have that representation when I was growing up watching Formula One. So yeah, two reasons, and it led me to this wonderful place where I'm now. If you could go back in time and watch any race in history in person, which race would it be and why? The 2008 Brazilian Grand Prix, when Lewis took the championship away from Massa. I think the scenes would have been absolutely insane. I was going to say 2011 Canada because I love Jenson Button and he's one of my favourites. He is my favourite. But I think the whole championship decider on the final race, importance, hype, would make me want to go back to 2008 Brazil. I just think yeah, that's the one I'm going to go with. First thing you're going to do when you meet F-Series. Honestly, we're all going to go to Spoons and Kira's going to buy us around because we've all bought Kira so many drinks from Spoons in the past and just ordered them to her table through the app. So she's going to buy us about 5 rounds to pay us back for all of the drinks we've been sending her. Have I ever watched a NASCAR Cup Series race? No, I haven't. But if you want to tell me where I can find it to watch it, I'd be more than happy to give it a try. One thing I've found with Motorsport is that it's really, really difficult to find ways to watch them. I just need someone to tell me, this is when the race is on, and this is the link to take you to watch the race. And then I will watch it, and whether I enjoy it or not, that's a different story. But I am open to literally trying all different types of motorsport. What was your very first Formula One race like? I actually haven't been to a race yet. I wanted to go to Silverstone in 2019, but as a student I couldn't afford that. And so I set my sights on Interlagos for 2020 because I was going to be in Brazil on my year abroad. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to Brazil for my year abroad, but the Brazilian GP was also cancelled. So yes, hopefully this year will be the year that I get to go to my first race. Stay tuned because I'll probably vlog it. Favourite non-F1 motorsport? I guess you could say I'm fairly new to branching out into other motorsports, and I kind of did it from 2019 onwards when I started watching MotoGP. And then last year I started watching Formula E, and I watched Le Mans for the first time. I went to Goodwood, and I'm just kind of branching out into all different types of motorsport. My favourite apart from Formula One right now is definitely Formula E, because I just absolutely love it. I think it's a very love it or hate it sport. I'll probably do a video on it at some point soon. But yeah, Formula E, I think the comms team is great. The presenters are great. The whole pit just seems like much more of a family. Everyone just chats with each other. And it just is a much less pressured environment than Formula One. I just really, really like it. And I like the fact that it's not trying to be Formula One, and the stuff that it stands for is really important to me. Sustainability and actively raising awareness about climate change. I think those are really important factors, and I really like the way Formula E does it. What does it feel like being the least favourite Wentworth? Brilliant. My sister and my mum often come to my premieres. You'll see them in the chat. They are Caitlin and Josie. And yeah, everyone loves them. Everyone loves them in the chat. No one loves me. That's it. Give them some love if you see them popping up in my premieres. What are your opinions on pineapple on pizza? Okay, don't hate me, but I don't like pizza. So I couldn't tell you what pineapple on pizza is like or whether I like it or not because I don't like pizza, full stop. So do with that information what you will. Where are you from originally? I was born in the south of Manchester and I've grown up here my whole life. My mum was born on a tiny island in the Caribbean called St. Vincent, and she grew up there and then moved over to the UK. So that is where half of my family is from. My dad was born here, his family, his parents here, he's lived here his whole life. And so yes, that is my heritage. First thing I'm going to do after lockdown? I don't really know, because I don't think I'll have my vaccine when lockdown is finished. So I don't know how much I'll actually be able to go out and do. I have been very cautious throughout this entire pandemic and the whole COVID situation, so I don't think I'll necessarily want to go out and do stuff until I'm safe and I know the people in my house are safe. So, oh, that's a rubbish answer. Sorry. Is there one driver throughout Formula 1 history that inspires you or someone you'd call a role model / hero? I guess I've got two answers to this. Senna is massively inspirational to me, especially for everything that he did for the Brazilian people. I did a video on Senna a while ago, so go check that out to understand my love for him. But I just think he was a massive inspiration, and even though racing was his life, it wasn't his life. He was absolutely adored by the Brazilian people, trying to lift them out of poverty, trying to give the kids an education, and I just think all of those things he didn't have to do. He could have just gotten his car, driven it around, and stashed away his millions of dollars earned from being a racing car driver. But he didn't. And that leads me on to the second guy, which is also Lewis Hamilton. He could get in that car and be silent and do absolutely nothing, but he doesn't. He talks about these important issues and he brings awareness and he makes us have these uncomfortable conversations. And as a black person who's mixed race, just like Lewis, I really identify with him pushing for the change that he's trying to push for. And so I guess you could say he's massively inspirational to me because, you know, it's not easy to stand up in this whitewashed sport and say, look, we need to change. And that's exactly what he's doing. And even if no one stands behind him, he's still going to make that change and he's still going to raise his voice, which is super inspirational to me. And I guess one of the reasons why he is one of my favourites. What's your favourite livery of all time? I have a real soft spot for the Brawn GP. It was a stunning, really simple, elegant livery. At the beginning when I was watching Formula 1, I didn't understand all the writing and why they couldn't just have block colour cars. So for me, I love simplicity, and I think that one is the epitome of simplicity for me, and it's just really elegant and lovely. But I will also say that the W11 is the most beautiful conceptualized livery that I've ever seen. The black for Black Lives Matter, the stars and the one red one for Nikki, oh, I can't even explain how much I loved that car. And I think that is why I feel so disappointed with the 2021 livery, because the 2021 was just, you couldn't get better than that. Do you like coffee? No, I do not like coffee. I don't like tea. I am a very, very fussy person, as you may or may not be seeing from this video. When are you gonna grow? I am 5 foot, if you didn't know. I'm very, very small. Unfortunately, I'm 20 years old now, so I don't think I'm gonna grow any more than I have. So, sorry to disappoint. Could you teach Kira to edit? I could, but I'm not going to. Where did you grow up and what made me an F1 fan? I grew up in the south of Manchester. I've never moved until I went away to university in Newcastle. I became an F1 fan through my parents, who were both F1 fans, and they kind of connected over F1. And it was always on in the house, but I never paid any attention until about 2017 when I started properly watching along with them. And I did that to get kind of close to my dad before I went away to university. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be watching F1 now. And yeah, now I'm a bigger fan than they ever were. Did you ever participate in motorsport, and since when did I follow Formula 1? And do I follow other motorsport events? Wow, loads of questions there. I have never participated in motorsport. I am not sure that I'd be any good at it. I have followed Formula 1 since I was a child, purely because it was always on in my household. But I guess I wasn't really following it then. I was just watching it because it was on. Do I follow other motorsports? Yes, I follow Formula 2, kind of Formula 3. It's on a bit early for me, but I'm hoping to get into it a lot more this year. W Series, Formula 3, MotoGP. I don't follow any of the American ones. I just have not got into them yet. Last year I watched Le Mans for the first time, so maybe I will become a World Endurance Championship fan. So yeah, I've got a couple under my belt, but I'm branching and I want to further my horizons. If you could attend a Formula 1 race anywhere in the world, even at a track that does not currently host races, where would you go, excluding Baku? I actually wouldn't go to Baku. That wouldn't be my first choice. I would probably go to Brazil, because I am dying to go to Brazil and watch a race at Interlagos. That would be my absolute first choice. But I've never been to Silverstone, and even though I live in the UK, it's not really on my doorstep. It's a good few hours away from me, but seems sad that I'm a Formula 1 fan that lives in the UK and I've never been to Silverstone, so I need to get over there. Ooh, okay. Peter on Pole is coming out with all of the questions here. Favourite food, drink, and F1 team colours. Okay, favourite food, fruit? Does that count? I will eat fruit by the ton, by the gallon. I love it. Drink, I don't really drink water. I'm fussy. Remember, I'm fussy. F1 team colours. I loved the Renault. I loved the yellow. And I'm sad that we've not got that on the grid anymore. But I'll go with that because I really like yellow. As you can probably tell by my channel because there's yellow on there. But yeah, I love yellow. Also, if you could be a content creator for a driver or team based on most interesting content, who would it be for? Definitely McLaren, because I think they have the most interesting drivers to work with. And yeah, I think you could get there's a lot of good content that you can get out of Daniel and Lando. So I would go with them because I don't think I would have to, it wouldn't be difficult to get content out of them. Whereas if I was the Alfa Romeo content creator, you never know what you're going to get out of Kimi Räikkönen, and I don't think I can deal with that unpredictability. And final question, have I ever met any F1 drivers in the paddock before? Unfortunately, I have not, since I've not been to a paddock yet. Hopefully, this year will be the year, so stay tuned, like I said. But yeah, that is it from me. Thank you everyone for asking those questions. I hope I answered them all. And if you have any more burning questions, just put them in the comments down below and I'll answer them then. But don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I hope you liked getting to know a little bit more about me and my origin story. But yes, I'm gonna go and I will be back to my normal Formula 1 content next week.